What is up, Kaiju Seekers? Welcome to another edition of the Kaijunaut Collector Log. Today, we have the Godzilla 1964 plus Mothra Gashapon figures. These are a new wave of figures from the Gashapon line, where essentially you can build your own little kaiju scene, and they feature various kaijus from the Showa era as of yet. And here we have the classic Godzilla 1964 from the film Mothra vs. Godzilla. And this one is a pretty neat figure since it's part of that scene, a very popular scene where Mothra is biting on Godzilla's tail. And you see this scene replicated in many other figures, from Soft Final to different diorama minifigures. It's just a popular one to make, I suppose. Toho loves to have it featured in many other mediums, but here today we have the Gashapon figure. Now, this figure is pretty neat. I didn't acquire it myself through the actual Gashapon machine. I bought this one from a hobby shop, and you may have heard me say this before in my figure haul from Little Tokyo. This is where I got this guy, and it was a pretty neat pickup because it came with all the pieces. I believe Mothra herself actually came with a separate Gashapon figure. I might have to double check that, but that's what I remember seeing when they listed all of the characters in this wave. I believe Anguirus might be part of this wave as well. But yeah, having a look at the figure, is very well detailed, very well painted. Nothing too crazy, but you have all that cool detailing in the scales and the scarring type of texture you have to classic Showa Godzilla. All the grooves and ridges from the dorsal plates are very nicely detailed as well, and painted in a way to really help emphasize that, because you have this nice gray to it with the black seeping in, and so you can see the nice shine of all the scales and things like that. All the toenails, very nicely painted. Fingernails as well. The teeth are quite nice. And of course the eyes have that nice, cool, simple detail. I don't know what it is, but I've always been drawn to 64 Godzilla. It's one of my favorites. It competes for the top spot, or like second to top spot, with King Goji from King Kong vs. Godzilla. Those two are just my favorites, just because they started the whole like earless, more reptilian look for Godzilla, which I do love and prefer over things like the mammalian ears and things like that. And of course, we have Mothra. Mothra Larva herself is pretty simple. Actually, 3 pieces for the feature that you can do on Godzilla there. But again, same thing, nice detail with all the little grooves and segments and the little details like the feet or the little claws. And then you have the under ridges and things like that too. These weird little circles there. I never really knew what those were for, if they're anything to help move her, help her move. And I've always liked the detail, these little spikes on the end of the tail. I think that's pretty neat right there. And you have the little dot eyes, little beady eyes. I've always really liked the Mothra design for the Showa larva. They're pretty cool. It's never really changed that much, outside of maybe her own movies with like the armored Mothra. And of course you have this extra piece that actually goes along with it, and it is the tail segment with the beak. And now, I mentioned this comes in 3 pieces. One of the pieces is the beak, so when you pick this figure up, I mentioned it before in my last video, but it is a small little thing, so don't go losing it. You're going to need it to complete this figure. But on the end of Godzilla's tail, there's a sculpted beak on the tip, and so you can easily just slide that in, and there you go. You have Mothra latching onto Godzilla's tail. Now that doesn't make for a great figure on its own, so we're going to take this off, place it here, slide it in, and there you go. You have Godzilla with Mothra attached to his tail. Now, if anyone remembers the movie, you know that it's a bit of an iffy battle considering two baby Mothra are able to take down Godzilla, but I think it's always been a fun, entertaining scene. And, you know, the reason why Godzilla can't get these guys is because they're camouflaging with the rocks and hiding amongst them. And then they get a sneak attack on Godzilla by biting down his tail, which is a move that a lot of Godzilla's foes like to use. They always try to grab his tail and things like that. So, yeah, it's pretty dynamic, you know. Godzilla's sculpt on his own is kind of in that pose where he's like either looking to the side or maybe he's just realizing something. Some of the other figures tend to depict the moment a little better, but if they're doing like a diorama piece, but for this cool little feature of this figure, I think it's pretty neat. And there you have all the way around. And the tail is nicely sculpted as well. I love the pose they chose for it. It's pretty neat. So both figures work on their own and they work together as well. So that's always a neat thing to have with figures. Let's head back to the regular ones. There you go. There you go. So now we have them back on their own, and like I said, they work well either way. And there you have it, guys. There is a look at the Gashapon, Godzilla, and Mothra Larva. What do you guys think? Are you going to go ahead and pick some of these guys up? They are at your local Gashapon stores, if you have any in your area, any stores that carry those. I picked most of these guys up at the my local Gashapon store that's part of the Anime Jungle Hobby Shop area in Little Tokyo, so Little Tokyo, LA, that is. So if you have anything you want to see there, go ahead and check it out. But before you go, I am going to do a little surprise feature here because I have another Gashapon figure here that I've been holding on to for a while. But let's go ahead and open her up. And boom, you may already know who it is. Whoops. There we go. We're going to go ahead and assemble this guy right here. That was easy. Alrighty. Boom. There. Right. And then next one. And then one more. Like I said, these are the buildable figures, so you build them up, assemble them, and it's pretty fun. And then you get the final product, which is Gorosaurus. This is from an earlier wave. I was really hoping to get this guy, and when the wave first came out, I got him myself. There you go, guys. I might do a little collector's log on this guy, but as you can see, he fits nicely in with Godzilla 64 and Mothra. And without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Kaiju Seekers, over and out.